What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So today, we're going to go ahead and do another playthrough here of Pirate King Adventures versus MAHA. Now, I've actually gone ahead and picked up all of my turtles now, so now I'm ready to push for that level 150. And in this video, we're going to have a look at two separate teams. You know, usually would make one dedicated video for each team, but we're going to do two different teams for level 150. Hopefully, it reaches 150 in terms of damage. So we'll do a full playthrough first, and then I'll show you guys a secondary team that we'll go through. So I guess without further ado, let's get it started. I'll also show you guys in terms of my progress for my statues as well, because I'm sure that that's going to be kind of important, because you know, it does give you some extra statistics. So we can see here that I have Luffy and Zoro at level 27 and 34 respectively. So to level up the strength typing of your type bonuses, picking up Luffy and Zoro statues is what you want to do, because each statue actually gives buffs to two separate colors. So Luffy and Zoro both give buffs to strength, which is the most important, because every single boss in this quest, when you verse MAHA, is a dex boss. So that's very, very important. The other colors aren't really going to matter as much. We only have one sake left, so landing Zoro here is probably not the idea. We probably want to land on some of the favorite boxes so we can try and get to level 150 as soon as we possibly can. So I think that's likely going to be the goal. Of course, you can still go ahead and land on the, what do you call it? You can go ahead and still land on those mini bosses if you want. You can try and increase those levels. It's completely fine. You can definitely do that. Personally, I'm not really too hell-bent on doing that right now. I just want to reach 150. And, you know, usually when I reach 150, I kind of just stop playing. Like, I just don't have much of a reason to keep playing at that point, which is kind of sad, to be honest, because unless if, look, again, I haven't played at 150 yet. They state that at level 150, the drop rates should be better. I haven't actually had a look at that yet, so look, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, but that's one of the big things that I found, is the fact that at level 150, there just isn't much of an incentive to keep playing. I don't know, many people have been documenting their drop rates throughout the entire duration of the past couple of seasons of Pirate King Adventures, and what we've noticed is that the drop rates for Super Cola are basically non-existent. So we'll have to wait and see, of course, as we said, but Super Cola is the main reason why we'd keep going back to this, because there's so many powerful ships that we'd love to get a hold of, but the amount of investments that are required to do it is absolutely absurd. And it takes 2 full seasons of PKA to actually get enough Super Cola to max out one new ship. So people have to be very, very careful in terms of how they invest this cola, because it's quite expensive to do it. And especially if these Super Colas essentially do not show up, it makes it even harder to max these Super Cola, to get the Super Cola to max all of these ships. So, you know, it makes it a bit difficult. But at the end of the day, a lot of these new ships with their level 12 abilities, with the modifications, they're amazing and they are really nice to have. But at the end of the day, you don't really need them for any piece of content. They're just more of like really cool additions that you can use in team building. And some of these modifications definitely change the way that you will build teams, but it's just unfortunate that we can't really get access to a lot of these ships currently. Anyways, just wanted to discuss all of that PKA related stuff while we played that Rumble match there, so that's awesome. Make sure to keep doing Rumble matches. I think you need to do a maximum of 20 or 30 matches in Rumble to get all the full rewards for it. We pick up a gold Rumble scroll, we take that, and we will land, I guess we'll go for Luffy and see what he can give us, because we can actually use some of our meat here so that we can pick up 2 favorites here, so let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, no sake, but it's not the end of the world. We'll pick up the 2 favorites there, and we land on MAHA. So we're going to go ahead and do level 119 now, so let's go ahead and get the team sorted. So this is the team that we're going to be trialing out today. So we've got Luffy Yamato as the main captain. As much as I don't like using this character, they just continue to be amazing, and the fact that they are boosted in PKA as well really helps the usability of the unit for sure. We're using MAHA as a sub, so the combination of using MAHA with the Perona is really good because of the special bind that it gets occurred. Of course, we'll talk about it once we get to it. We're using the new Bonnie as well, which is going to be a really cool addition to the team. She has Barrier Pierce too, which actually helps out. And then we also have the Usopp, who is a treasure map rare recruit with Barrier Pen as well, which is really nice. So without further ado, let us go ahead and get this party started. Another thing that's very important for the team is the ship that we're using. We're using the Victoria Punk, which is the Kid Pirate ship. It's a very good ship, actually. I believe this ship actually has mods as well, which can make the ship even better than what it currently is. But it's mainly the fact that the ability of the ship's special, is phenomenal. So we will go ahead and start killing characters. But the other thing as well is we need to make sure that we get the right swaps, because we want to make sure that we can actually use the super swap to our advantage. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make it so that Luffy has a 4-turn switch left, and then that will be where we can continue to move on. We would also like to get some matching slots on some of our strength characters, or specifically the Bonnie, because when we reach stage 3, our captains are going to get their slots switched into Super Bomb, which is obviously not a good thing. We could have done it a little bit better on our end, where we could have, you know, switched our Luffy Yamato to guarantee a Wano slot and then just don't attack with them, just so that we can keep that. It's not going to be the end of the world, but as long as we've got, you know, some matching slots going on here, that is going to be really nice for us. In terms of cooldown as well, we don't really have to wait for cooldowns because everyone is pretty much ready to go. So let's go ahead and move on to stage 3. So stage 3 is going to be the Apu, of course, and this guy's a real nasty piece of work, but luckily we have access to this Perona. This Perona is so useful to have, being able to remove essentially all the debuffs on this stage. The only thing that we don't remove, obviously, is the Rainbow Shield on the enemy side of the field, but we can get around that due to Izo's Captain ability. Obviously being able to get around Threshold as well if you have a Wano slot too. Really useful, and I actually haven't even looked at this special animation for Perona. It's actually pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of the burn and the attack down, and we'll go ahead and switch into Yamato, which is doesn't actually matter because of the fact that Perona gives a color affinity boost anyway. So let's go ahead and hit some perfects and get the job done. Let's do it. Beautiful. Alright, so we got through that stage pretty comfortably. Probably would have been better if we used the Barrier Pierce of Maha or Usopp to break it, just so that Izo would have done a bit more damage. Not really going to matter too much though. So now we're on the King and Queen stage. This stage is so annoying, but you basically need like 2 turns of buffs in order to get through it comfortably. So let's go ahead and use the Usopp special here. Usopp's going to be very important. So he has double special launch as well as having double barrier penetration, which is nice. But the thing about Usopp that's really cool is that he removes 3 turns of paralysis, so we can use that twice, obviously, which can help us remove 6 turns of paralysis. And then we can also get the delayed conditional boost against the enemy, because he delays on the first special, then gives us the conditional boost on the second special. And then, of course, we have the special of the new Clash Bonnie, which allows us to get chain multiplier buffs. So we get like chain on turn 1. If we hit a certain amount of perfects, we get another chain effect. And then I believe if we hit perfects on the third turn, on the second attacking turn, then we actually get more chain buffs on the next turn after. It's actually a really cool special, actually. And the way that this works is we would want to kill Queen first. And after we do that, King is going to put up a Rainbow Shield, but we can remove it pretty comfortably. And we are still guaranteed a slot here on Bonnie, of course. But we will go ahead and switch into Luffy. And ideally, we kill Queen with Luffy so that when we move into the next stage, we can actually still super swap into Luffy. So let's see how this goes. Let's get the job done. Okay, that worked out really well, so we killed the Queen with Luffy. So Luffy's now going to go up to 1 swap left before the super swap. And then that will allow us to switch into Yamato, so that now we can super swap into the strength version of Luffy Yamato. We don't need to use any more specials here, so we still have some chain buffs here, and we have the perfect buff. So we need to land 4 perfect strikes to get the buffs in the next stage. I don't even know if we're going to land 4 perfect strikes. I guess we'll go Perona, Maha, then Usopp. Yeah, alright, let's see how this works. Let's do this. Alright, nice. We hit all those perfects. So now we should get all of the chain-related buffs when we reach this last stage. Now this is where we have all of our specials ready to go, and we're going to absolutely demolish this final stage. This is going to be wicked. So obviously we take some damage, not a problem, and this is where MAHA and the combination with him and Perona is really good, because MAHA only removes 4 turns of special bind, but due to the crewmate ability of Perona, she actually removes 1 turn of special bind for the whole crew. So by using the MAHA special, it will remove all of the special bind that's remaining, as well as provide us with an attack boost, and then the Kuma support of Perona, as well as the Opera support attached to MAHA, removes the rest of the despair that's inflicted on the crew here. Perfect combination between these characters. We can actually go ahead and use the special of Victoria Punk's ship to remove that barrier for us as well. We go ahead and use the Izo special, which of course is going to give a base attack boost to our crew, as well as giving a really cool effect of the Wano slots as well, which is the most important thing. So it's going to give us really good damage against the opponent, as well as giving us the opportunity to remove the threshold that occurs here. So that's looking good. And now we can go ahead and super swap into Luffy, which of course is going to give us a massive color affinity boost. And then we can now use the special of Luffy Yamato in their dual form, which will inflict increased damage taken, of course. That it does go through full immunity buff, so as well as the orb boost, and it's just a lot of damage. And from here, we'll use the super class of Izo. We do not want to mess that up, otherwise we'd be in a little bit of trouble. And now we just need to hit a couple of perfects on our shooter characters with Barrier Pierce to get around. Well, we've got the Wano slots, so that's what it is. The Wano slots to get around the threshold, of course. And then we hit really hard with Izo and Luffy Yamato. So let's get it. And that was it. Like, there was so much damage there. We started to attack with Izo and Luffy Yamato with a final tap, and it had the Sabra support for a base stat boost as well. This team will do absurd damage, and I'm pretty comfortable in saying that this should be able to beat level 150. Okay, so the second team that I wanted to show off in this video, we're going to try the full shooter squad here with Uta, the quick Uta, as the main captain. Remember that that Uta, she actually boosts Cerebral and Shooter, so great combination here with Izo. But another really cool thing about using these two captains together is that in order to use both of their super class specials, you need to have either an Usopp or a Yasop on the team, which means that Usopp Yasop dual unit is actually the perfect character to use here. Because Usopp for some reason counts for Izo's superclass, and then Yasop counts for Uta's. So this is a great combo here. Now, because we are running a full shooter team here, we can use the Kizaru ship, which allows us to get additional cooldown at the start of the quest. So things are looking pretty good here. Like, it's actually a pretty well-built team that we have here in order to get through this content. So of course we want to use the super switch when we reach the final stage versus MAHA. We also need to get our cooldown ready to go as well, but making sure that we get a couple of swaps in just so that we can eventually use that super swap is going to be kind of nice for us. And using Legend Chopper is a really nice way to deal with a lot of the gimmicks that occur on stage 4 versus King and Queen, of course. We'll go ahead and switch one more time, and I feel comfortable just leaving them at that point there. Stussy has a matching slot, which is going to give us good damage versus Apu on the following stage. And of course we don't need to worry about the slots that are on our captains, as they're going to be changed into super bomb slots anyway, so don't have to worry about that at all. And in terms of cooldown, I think we kind of overstalled a little bit, but it's not a big issue. I mean, as long as we get everything ready to go, that's the most important thing. So here is Apu, and we kind of touched up on it a bit earlier, but the burn and the attack down, we're going to have Perona help us deal with that. So we'll go ahead and use their special, which is going to give an attack boost, or a color affinity boost, should I say, for cerebral and driven characters, which actually a lot of the characters on this team are actually cerebral, which works quite well. The switch ability here as well, which will give us the ability to get just some additional damage versus the opponent. And as long as we hit with some barrier penetration, we'll be good. Make sure to get rid of these slots too. And then Stussy's going to hit really hard because of the color affinity boost. Yeah, pretty comfortable there. As long as we don't take damage from the super bomb slots, it's not going to be too bad. So here's King and Queen again, and the same thing as before. I mean, realistically, we can actually kill either one of these first. You know, if you don't kill Queen, and Queen stays alive, he blinds you, but we have Usopp Yasop to resist the blind anyway. So it actually really doesn't matter which one you kill first. Now we're going to use the Chopper special here, which of course deals with bind, deals with paralysis, and of course with the support of the 20th anniversary Brook, we can remove additional turns of paralysis, so we can actually get rid of everything. Of course, the Chopper that I am using is level limit break 5, so he gets rid of an additional turn of bind and despair. So, you know, if you don't have yours at level limit break 5, you will need to adjust and put a bind removal support on the team in some capacity here. Another thing you could do, you could put Rare Recruit Gordon support on Uta to get rid of some of that paralysis too. So there are a couple of options actually. Let's go ahead and use the special of Uta here though. So Uta, of course, amazing special. And I still think Uta is probably one of the best legends in the game. Of course, I'm recording this the day after we had the reveal of Gear 5 Luffy. So Gear 5 Luffy and the Momonosuke legend, two amazing legends. At this current point in time, I don't know if any of those units would be number 1. But I still think Uta is still one of the best legends in the game. Such a good unit. It's so good. Let's use the switch ability here of Usopp Yasop just to get some resistance down. And I guess we'll kill Queen first. It doesn't really make a difference, as I said. So let's go ahead and get the victory versus Queen. Okay, cool. Unfortunately, use of the slot on Izo, but I don't think it really makes that big of a difference here. Take a bit of damage from King, but luckily for us, when we use the Chopper special, that actually will give us end of turn healing. So once we kill King here on this turn, it's actually going to give us a bit of HP back, which is great. We can use the super class of Uta here, which is going to buff the attack and orb boost of Uta, as well as buff it for the next turn as well. So we get really good damage output, which is great. We won't use the super swap here of Usopp Yasop though. We will keep that for the last stage. We did actually pick up another recovery slot here for Izo, which is great too. So let's go ahead and get the dub versus King. Let's do it. Easy. Easy. And then we move on to the last stage. And the last stage is actually kind of like the easiest stage of them all. Very, very simple. There is still a barrier that we unfortunately are not removing, so we still have to kind of break through the barrier, but you know, the only real like super hard hitting units on this team on this last stage are realistically going to be Stussy and Izo, but with the amount of damage that we have, we're going to be hitting really hard here. We also have the resistance down from that VV support and removing some of that threshold, which is kind of clutch. So the Stussy special removes Despair and attack, and the special bind in conjunction with that Kuma support removes all of it. Izo special is going to be really nice here, of course, enabling us to get the full board of Wano slots. And then we can use the super class of Izo as well to remove the increased defense on the opposing side of the field. Unfortunately, we can't use the Stussy special twice. We don't have enough specials to do that. That would have been really clutch too, just so we could buff the affinity boost that we have. The super swap, of course, giving us additional resistance down, and then we can use the special ability of Usopp and Yasop, which can give us the guaranteed delayed conditional boost. So that's awesome. So base attack boost, but we already have base attack boost anyway. So it's probably better. I mean, actually, I don't think Izo has the reduced redundancy special. I don't think any of these guys have that, which would have been clutch if one of them did have that to give further base attack boost. But the main thing is the delayed conditional boost, which is important. So we've activated all of our specials here. So now we want to go ahead and just win. Of course, we want the order of taps. We want the last 3 characters to probably be Usopp, Yasop, Stussy, and then Izo. So we'll go with that. Let's see how we go. Dude, that was so much damage. And then Izo, of course, a boosted unit in this event with all of those statistical increases. I'm pretty sure this team also would work at level 150. Just crazy amount of damage. So seeing a full shooter team go at it, and then a really weird, like, Luffy Yamato strength, free spirit-ish kind of hybrid looking team. Either way, we got the job done, which is awesome. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So, you know, taking on the highest difficulty of MAHA, level 126 completed, which is fantastic. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.